let's take stock of where we've come from. In March of 2020, the Simon Wiesenthal Center notified Credit Suisse that it found information relating to the bank's Nazi ties. The bank initially agreed to investigate. It hired a research firm to conduct a forensic review. It retained former TARP Inspector General Neil Barofsky to oversee that review. But after the investigation uncovered damaging information, the bank paused its review, limited access to records, and terminated Barofsky. The bank cited so-called performance issues for the termination. That was entirely false. Indeed, if anything, Neil Barofsky performed all too well. In true dedicated fashion, Barofsky drafted a report about what he found. So last Congress, then Chairman Whitehouse, and I issued the Budget Committee's first subpoena since 1991 to obtain and release that report to the public. We also obtained the forensic auditor's report. The reports uncovered historical information. The report said that Credit Suisse didn't review and investigate all relevant records regarding its Nazi past and applied excessive scope restrictions to its review. Even with those limitations, the investigation revealed new information, including nearly 100 Nazi-linked accounts, many previously undisclosed. Some accounts remained open until the 1990s. One remained open as recently as 2020. Then UBS acquired Credit Suisse. With this acquisition came new leadership, and the investigation was brought back to life. At that point in time, credit belonged to UBS for working to right some of Credit Suisse wrongs. Inspector General Barofsky was rehired and provided significant resources to run the investigation. The bank has spent millions of dollars supporting that investigation. Those resources have funded archival and forensic research by historians and experts who search for facts around the world. But just like the bank it acquired, UBS snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. The unfettered access and spoken commitment to leave no stone unturned, which had resulted in great progress and great cooperation, now faces challenges. You might ask, when did this change in conduct begin? Well, right after UBS was made aware that this committee might hold a public hearing. Now, all of a sudden, UBS began withholding records from the investigation. Then Inspector General Barofsky learned about Gibson Dunn, the same law firm that's helping UBS take legal action against the Simon Wiesenthal Center in New York, is reviewing and filtering what information Barofsky could have access to. So UBS, through Gibson Dunn, has taken legal action against a Jewish human rights organization named after a famed Nazi hunter. And that same law firm is now a filter by which Inspector General Borowski must rely upon their judgment as to what records he can access. And unfortunately, legal action came to a head just last week under Judge Corman in New York, where UBS essentially tried to block Simon Wiesenthal Center from fully speaking on all Holocaust issues right before this hearing. And coupled with that, UBS tried to limit Borowski's testimony here today. These efforts, if successful, would have frustrated this committee's public hearing. UBS's conduct is absurd and a historic shame that'll outlive today's hearing. Now, before UBS's recent obstructive efforts, the investigation yielded new information. Based upon Borowski's testimony, Credit Suisse maintained previously unreported and underreported wartime account relationships with arms of the Nazi government. Credit Suisse knew it held Nazi accounts and yet withheld some information from the public record, including commissions examining the Holocaust. Today, we'll also hear about the forced transfer of Jewish assets and how Credit Suisse facilitated the escape networks known as rat lines that Nazi Jews to flee justice following the war. This investigation has reaffirmed that Swiss banks haven't historically shown neutrality. In fact, they managed to get away with essentially being part of the Axis powers while not fully paying for the consequences. This committee's investigation, as well as Inspector General Borowski's, is about uncovering the truth once lost to history. UBS's recent conduct impedes that effort and sabotages its own efforts to show accountability. To UBS, I strongly urge you to find a way to make peace before it's too late to repair the damage the bank has done. To Rabbi Cooper, there may be rough roads ahead, but I trust you'll never lose sight of the fact that God is not neutral in this fight.